not working. Oh no, how could I possibly go out into public looking like this? Hey guys, welcome to MiracleMAX. This time I've been given a hair straightener to try and sort out. It's not working, it's been dropped, so we'll pull it apart, check it out, see if we can't fix it, and then hopefully we'll be able to fix this. At this point I can't see any obvious way to undo the iron, but I did notice this is obviously where it pivots, so I might be able to have a look underneath that. Just gently lever that up. Oh yeah, there we go. There's a screw under there, so I should be able to sort that one out. See what, that was pretty tight. In the end I ended up using a couple of these bits that I had from a kit and getting them in the vise from either side and undoing them with a socket. They were pretty tight. So anyway, I've managed to get them undone, which is good. So I guess the next step is to pull off this little switch section. Just gently lever that off. Okay, so now I need to make sure that there's no broken wire between my power plug here and between the connectors here, so I'll check that next. Put that on ohms. I should be able to check the continuity between my power plug and these terminals here. There we go, we've got 0.9 there, so that's good. And over here, that should be our next one over. That should be 0.9 as well. 1.3, 1.4, 1, there we go. So that's in good mix, so we know that the power plug is okay. Some of these have a little thermal cutout on them. It does have written on here fuse, but that's on this side of course, so I'm not exactly sure what I'll find, but I'll pull that circuit board off next. And before I do anything else, might be an idea just to take a few photos so that I can remember how the wiring goes. Okay, there's our circuit board. Now I need to do some testing. It looks like it's a fuse. I think there might actually be a fuse by the looks, I'd say, because that comes from our AC in, as you can see, and our AC in, so your two ACs in, and that appears to be a fuse, so it could be a blown fuse. I'll check that shortly. It appears to be okay. I've done some further testing, and what I did find was a little capacitor. You can see it's an electrolytic capacitor, and that's way higher in the range than it should be. That is located just in here. I've replaced this little capacitor because it was just out of range. It should have been about 2 ohms and it was actually about 4.5, so I've replaced that. Hopefully that'll help toward firing up the little unit. As I was checking everything else, I did happen to find that one of the heating element wires is broken. When I tested it originally, it had continuity, but it must have just been sitting there, so I'm not sure that that should make a difference to the actual light coming on, little LED light right at the beginning. but this is certainly a fault, obviously, that remember it got dropped, so it's quite easy to understand. It's quite easy to understand that this would have broken away from here. So I'm going to carefully try and clean up this area and solder it back on if possible. So I've managed to solder on the wire from the little capacitor of the output plate onto the heating element here. And I'm pretty happy with that connection. It seemed to have went on pretty good. So next step is assemble it together. Just starting to assemble it to a certain extent so that I can do more testing with it. I honestly don't feel that I've sorted the issue out, but by connecting some of these little connectors, then I can do some live testing, so with voltage going through it. So keep in mind I've taken photos of this previously, so I know all my wiring, how it should be set up. So I'll sit that next to me to make sure I get it correct. Just about turn on the power. I've assembled it all now and power is on. Okay, cool. Notice our little LED is now on. It's flashing off and on, and that's how it works. In fact, I can also feel that I'll check them shortly, but I can also feel that the heat pads, yep, the thermal pads themselves are actually getting quite warm. So hopefully that's a fix. Before I open my big trap, I'll be doing a little more testing. Just do some thermal testing, make sure it's fixed, but the LED is a good indicator, and certainly it's getting warm to the touch. Not that I'm touching it, but I can feel it getting warm. So I'll put it back together and hopefully she's done. Sweet. I guess one last thing to do before I claim it as a fix is to check the temperature of the pads. So I'll just switch it on, and we've got our little LED on there to tell us that the unit's switched on. So now I've got a thermal infrared thermometer that I can check the temperature with. So I'll just do that now, see what we get up to. At the moment we're sitting at 81 degrees, 88, 92, 93. So it's certainly heating up okay. So I reckon, and it's still going up, so I reckon we can claim it as a fix. Just got to assemble it and get my hair sorted. Oh, that's better. Now I can go out in public. Thanks for watching, guys. Till next time, see you later.